Okay, hi, I'm going to do a review on the Chud Press. I'm an amateur at these kinds of reviews on YouTube. I only do drone videos, so try to bear with me. I'm going to show you where I keep the Chud Press. It's right under here. This is my kitchen table, and there's a bench that goes around both sides, and my Chud Press is right under there. And so that's where I keep it, and I'm going to pull it out. And I'm going to lay it on the table here initially. And there it is. I've had it for about 9 weeks. I got it for Christmas. It doesn't come with these springs, but otherwise that's the deal right there. And let me show you the where I use it to cook. I have a stovetop which uses gas, and it's over here. It's not particularly clean because we use it all the time. So the stovetop looks like this, right? Typical classic stovetop. Turn the burner on and the fire comes out. And so I use this burner to cook with. So to set this up, I'm going to remove this and set this over here. And I'm going to use this burner, and the legs of the Chud Press are going to go across here and across here. It's actually steel channel, but the one piece of channel is going to go across here, and the other piece of channel is going to go across here, and Chud Press will sit right on top. So before we get into that, though, I want to talk a little bit about some of the things, because I can show the Chud Press better from the table here. So just ignore these springs for now. Let's see. So when you pull it out of the box, there's 2 silver screws over here, and you have to loosen those with an Allen wrench or a hex wrench for the Chud Press to open. So it's very simple. You're going to need an Allen wrench at first, and then after that you can just, moving forward from there in the future, you can just do it with your fingers. So once you have those loosened, Chud Press opens like that. Of course, you're going to have to season it, but Bradley Robinson shows you how to season it on his video. So there's what it looks like all around. Now I'm going to close it here for a second and quickly close this up here and turn it upside down. Show you what the bottom looks like. You got the 2 channels, and these legs here, from inside to inside, the distance is I'm looking at my notes here, inside distance is 9 inches and 3/4, 9 3/4 inches. So ideally you would want your burner to be no larger than 9 3/4 inches. So other than that, it's pretty much all you need to know for the bottom. And so the top, I'm just going to loosen this here real quick, and it opens like this. And it, once you season it, it's going to be non-stick. It's going to work wonderfully. I can tell you the heat, you want to have the burner as centered as close as possible, because the heat is going to exit from either the left side or the right side, depending on which one is closer. So if you have it centered, in a perfect world, the heat is going to exit on both sides, but chances are you're going to have it a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch, and so it's going to be a little bit hotter on one side than the other. And the hot spot is going to be sort of an oval shape. All right, and it's going to favor one side or the other. It's not really, doesn't really affect your cook at all, but you just learn you learn that as you go along. So one of the things I like to cook, of course, everybody likes to cook bacon, and when I cook the bacon, I generally put the pieces of bacon from left to right, taking advantage of that oval hot spot. So I put the centerpiece here, and then I put the next bacon here and here and here and here, left to right. And of course the middle one will cook first, and then I remove that one, scoot the other ones down, and go like that. So I find that cooks better than the up and down method. Some of the other things that I've cooked, of course, are smash burgers. Not much to say about that. It's pretty self-explanatory. This is really a good smasher. I mean, you know, everybody uses presses, the hand presses, but this thing is awesome. I mean, this thing, I weighed this, and it's 6 pounds all by itself, according to my calculations. So you got 6 pounds of pressure here without doing anything. You can just let go. You got 6 pounds of pressure. But if you push down, you get a heck of a lot more pressure because of the leverage. It's about double what you would push down. In other words, if you push down with your hand with 10 pounds of pressure, you're going to get 20 pounds of pressure over here because of the leverage. So you get a much superior smash when you're making smash burgers or anything else like that you're really trying to press. And or you just want to press gently, you get 6 pounds just by letting the weight of the press fall down. So so I've done smash burgers. I've done something called the Farmer's Daughter burger, which is a type of smash burger. You can Google that if you want. I've done onion burger, which isn't really a smash burger. It's more like a pressed burger. I've done Cubanos. Now let me tell you about the Cuban sandwich I made. I've been making Cuban sandwiches for four years using just a pan or a cast iron pan, and it's really awkward because it's hard to keep the top of the pan balanced on top of the sandwich. I mean, you can do it, but it's a pain in the neck. I've been looking for a panini press for 4 years, and I finally I just couldn't bring myself to buy a cheap Amazon, you know, $50 panini press. They're all pretty cheap and horrible, but I end up getting this one for Christmas because this is the one I really wanted, and it does a great job with panini presses. You can, if you don't know what a panini is any kind of toasted sandwich with Italian bread, but you don't have to use Italian bread. You can use any bread. So if you like toasted sandwiches, this thing does a great job. So the first time I've got a lot of experience making Cuban sandwiches, and so the first time I tried it on here, I lifted it up and put the sandwich in there and pressed it down, and I pressed it too hard, and I also didn't look underneath to see how things were going. And then a few minutes later I lifted it up, and the sandwich actually slid over here and it got crushed. So my first attempt didn't turn out well, but then I studied this thing and I realized that it's pretty simple. All you got to do is loosen these screws right here on either side, and shazam, the thing is level. So now it's not going to get pinched anymore. You can see that as you lower the press, it doesn't matter how high your sandwich is. If your sandwich has to be stacked, or the bread is fluffy or whatever, you can start putting the pressure down, and it'll hold it right there. And then as it cooks, it'll likely come down, and you can put a little pressure on it too. You know, the Cuban sandwich doesn't really need to be smashed or even pressed that hard, just a little bit of pressure. But the advantage of this press is that you can basically put any height of sandwich, and this works great for that. So I'm really happy the way this works for the Cuban sandwich. And paninis too. I mean, if you're going to make a panini out of, and you don't have to make, you know, people may be concerned that this press will make you fat or whatever because you're going to be cooking unhealthy, but that's not really true, because you can make paninis, and paninis can be healthy. I mean, you can make a panini out of, say, shaved turkey, cheese, avocado, tomato, sprouts, a little bit of butter maybe, and that's a healthy sandwich. But you don't want to crush it, so you're going to put this thing down, and whoa, do you want to smash that tomato and avocado? Probably not. Now the earlier presses, a year or two ago, Bradley was selling them, but he stopped making them. They had a pin system where the pins would stick in there and stop the thing from falling. So it would come down like this, and then it would just freeze. And it was adjustable. So depending on where the pin was, you could put it wherever you want. And some lucky people have that, but it was too expensive to make, and so they discontinued that. And the pin system is no longer available. However, I was fooling around with this, and just by accident, I discovered, I'm going to try to do this with one hand if I can, I discovered that this thing here, this is a simple screw. It's a 3-inch long screw, 7/16. And if you take this and insert this in here, it works just as well as the pin system. So I'm going to put the camera down for a second. So you lift this up and just hook this in here like this. And it holds the thing up, right? And depending on where you slide this, you can slide this anywhere you want, and the press will drop. So in other words, you can adjust this depending on where you put it along the side here. You can move this screw and have this height on infinite number of distances. I'll try to show this. I can show this better. Okay, so here it is flat, and you're going to make a panini or maybe a Cuban sandwich, and you don't want it so much pressure on it, or whatever you're doing. You just put this thing right here and drop it, and there it is. And if you want to slide it over to here, there it is. If you want to slide it over here, even higher, there it is. And it's steady. It's not trying to fall out on you while you cook. I mean, it'll fall out after you lift the press up, but you just hook it in here like that, and it's staying there. So I use that thing quite often, and it's just a 3-inch screw with a nut here, and I put a little electrical tape here because it gets hot, because the heat is escaping here. So it gets hot, so I put a little electrical tape here and a little plastic end piece here. It's an antenna piece from an antenna. But yeah, that works great. So, you know, cost you maybe $1 or $2 stainless steel screw and a nut. So, all right, and now if we want to go ahead and replace the screws, make it the way it was before. Just screw those in there like that. Same with this side. Screw that in there like that, and shazam, it works just like that. And all right, so now see, what else do I make with this thing? Farmer's daughter burger, onion burger, Cuban sandwiches, hash browns. This thing is great for hash browns, obviously, because you're pressing the potatoes in and getting that sear. A grilled cheese, you can do a grilled cheese. I mean, you're probably not, you're saying, you know, why do you need a press to do a grilled cheese? Actually, a press makes a very nice grilled cheese because you get complete 100% browning. But this is too heavy. However, if you use this tool, it'll be perfect. So I've made grilled cheeses here. This is excellent for swordfish steak. Swordfish steak would be like a ribeye. Just cook it like a ribeye. Comes out great. Ribeyes, of course. Tortillas, of course. You can reheat pizzas. I'll provide you use one of these. And let's see what else. Oh yeah, if you're making smash burgers, well, the cheese isn't really going to melt as well as you would like. But if you use this thing and put it down like that, and use this tool here and just hover it right above the cheese will melt wonderfully. I use this thing all the time. Highly recommend it. Let's see, what else do I cook? Quesadillas. You can even crisp chicken chicken skin. Believe it or not, you can take a chicken thigh and press it into the steel and crisp the skin before you cook the chicken. So let's see what else. All right, so let's take it over to the oven and talk a little bit. All right, so sometimes this thing wants to slide. You know, it wants to slide a little bit if you're a little too aggressive, and that's not cool because you don't want to cook and have this thing sliding around. And if you're gentle, it'll be okay. But what I found is that I can, because of this oven, the way it's built, I can take these spring clips and I can slip a spring clip right under there like that. And this one I don't even need, but I put it there anyway, and it slides right under there just like that. And Shazam, this thing is locked in. It's not going to slide anywhere. So I can cook and I can be as aggressive as I want. And this thing is great, and it'll heat up great. It's perfectly centered. It's wonderful. So let's see. Got the grease reservoir here. It slides on just like that. And this thing is rock solid. It doesn't wiggle at all. There's nothing. It just sits there. So that's another. You can put your hand here. If you use two hands, you can put one hand here and then lift it up, and that'll also keep it stable. So this thing is really well built and well designed. It fits on there great. So I'm not going to cook on anything today. I just wanted to give you an outline of how it works. I can say that I really like it. I'm going to look at my notes here real quick, make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh yeah, there's one funny thing I want to show you. Some people have had trouble with the hinges. A couple of people have had trouble. The way these hinges work is this is a stud that's welded through here like this, and on this side there's a stud that's welded through. You see, it's welded to here. So the stud is welded right here, and then there's some flat washers in there, and then on this side there's a it's a cup-shaped washer. It's called a spring washer, but it's shaped like a cup or I don't know, like a funnel, you know, but it's cup-shaped. So the cup shape fits this way with the cup opening in towards here. And then there's the jam nuts system. If you don't know how a jam nut works, you take two nuts and jam them together, and they work just as well as a lock nut, even better than a lock nut. You know, the classic lock nut. So that works as a lock nut. And the strategy is you want to turn this inner nut so it's just the right tension against the spring washer, and then once it's in place, you hold that with a wrench and take another wrench and tighten that, and tighten these two against each other, and so they're jammed together, and they will keep everything in place and keep the exact tension that you wanted. And this type of spring washer works better than a tooth washer, and it works better than a split washer. So that's the kind of washer you want to use. You definitely don't want to add any kind of lubricant like WD-40 or whatever, and you don't want to put anything like liquid wrench or something like that on there. Okay, it should be absolutely clean, and if it starts misbehaving on you, you can tighten it, or you can just call or email Chud Barbecue, and they will solve your problem. You know, Chud's Barbecue has kind of I would call it a good old boy warranty or a gentleman's warranty. I mean, there's nothing written down, there's no lawyers involved, but if you call them and you have a problem, they will solve your problem, and they'll do it really quick, and they'll do it for free. So, you know, I mean, this is me talking, this is not them talking. I'm just saying that it's an upstanding product, and they stand behind their product. Let's see, what else? Hang on. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I had to look at my notes real quick. I want to show you something that's kind of silly, but I think it's kind of funny. Yeah, it's a good, if you have the guys over, you can show them this. You take this thing like this and bring it up like this, and I was just playing with this, and if you take this thing and rock it like this, let me go like this, watch this. And it's like perpetual motion. It'll just keep rocking like that. I counted 107 rocks one day. So my point is, it's really well balanced and it's really well made. And you know, the rocks start getting infinitely small, but it won't stop rocking. I mean, even now, it's still rocking. If you study it, it's still rocking, and it just keeps rocking and rocking and rocking and rocking. So I thought that was kind of funny. So I'll bring this back down again. Now, believe it or not, you can also cook right on top of here, right on top of the lid. Why would you want to do that? Well, it's a perfect good griddle, as you can see. Be ashamed not to use it. You do want to put a little oil here, high heat oil, like grapeseed oil, to take up the air between the two plates, because the plates are not, you know, geometrically perfect. So a little grapeseed oil will remove the air, and that way the heat can rise, and then suddenly you have a griddle that's 3/8 inches thick, which is almost commercial. So you got a commercial grade griddle, and it does a really good job cooking on top of that, you know, if you're not using the smasher. So some of the advantages are you can you have better heat distribution, and you have better heat retention, and you also have lower extremes of heat. So if you want to cook something gently, maybe you want to make a hamburger and you want a gentle cook on it rather than a very hot cook. I've got a great hamburger recipe, which I think is the best hamburger of all, and I cook that one gently. And you can, I've done French toast, I've done fried eggs. Most people overcook their eggs, but it makes it easier to cook a perfect egg if you use this top griddle. So it's just another advantage which you can take advantage of or not. One other thing, you're probably going to want one of these deals, okay? Because basically you're cooking blind without one of these. I bought this 9 years ago. There's all sorts of uses you can use for these. You can find cold spots in your house. You can, you know, measure the temperature of various things. But I use it in the kitchen all the time now, especially with the Chud Press. So I recommend that you get yourself a laser temp reader. What else here? You're probably going to want to get a scraper too, unless you have a really nice spatula. I've got a, where's my scraper here? Right here. So you take this and open this up and scrape here, and works great. I'm going to turn this off and check my notes one last time. Okay, another silly thing, I want to show you the tang on this. It's got a really nice long tang. I think I counted like 5 seconds for that tang. You probably don't hear it as well as I do, but it resonates and vibrates for a long time. So, I mean, that's just, to me, that's just another sign of quality. Dishwasher, this thing is not seen the dishwasher. I saw one guy say that he puts this in the dishwasher. No, man, I don't use the dishwasher. In fact, no soap has touched this thing in 9 weeks. Okay, you scrape it and you wipe it out. You wipe out the corners with a paper towel and wipe out this thing right here. and clean this thing, and you know, that's all you have to do. You don't, because the dishwasher is going to mess up the seasoning, and you don't want you want to keep that seasoning. You don't want to wash it away. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm going to move this over to the table again. Show you one other thing. Hang on. Okay, now we're back at the kitchen table. So I want to talk about this logo for a minute. You might think the logo is just there for decoration, but actually this logo keeps this handle cool because the air can get in between the steel here, and you know, just like any piece of steel that you want to keep cool. So the handle is always cool. Sometimes some steam might come up from here when you're pressing a burger, but other than that, you don't need gloves or anything, just your bare hands, and it works great. I also wanted to show you how I store this. So if you stand this thing up, see, I try to lift up and the handle wants to come up. So all I do is turn these screws in. Oops, I went the wrong way. See, I'm doing it left-handed and upside down. So screw these screws in like this. Screw this screw in like this. And you lift up like this, and it'll stand up there very nicely. So, but it's not quite vertical. However, I have a piece of scrap wood, which just happened to be the perfect size. See, this piece of wood is it was a 1x4, but it's a 1x2 now. And as you probably know, a 1x2 board is actually 3/4 of an inch thick. So 3/4 of an inch thick, you stick it just like this. You take this, and there it is. And it's almost perfectly vertical. So that's actually how I store it underneath the bench. And this thing, you can put this in the cabinet or whatever. And you don't want to lose that. I think that might be it. I'm going to check my notes one more time. Thanks for watching. Okay, we're back. Another thing this thing is really nice at is, depending on what you're cooking, of course, but if you need a plate warmer and this thing is hot, just stick your plate right here and it'll warm your plates right up. Works great. Other than that, I think we've covered everything. So, sorry for the amateurish nature of this video, but like I said, this is basically my second or third one, and I'm not trying to be a professional. I just wanted to get some facts across, and thanks for watching.